Bottom-up assembly. Hi, Joe Cerrone, Basic SolidWorks. Today we're going to work on taking the parts that we created in Chapter 3 of these chain links and then creating an assembly drawing. The drawing will be done in inches, or the assembly. We will use mates, and we will use these other aspects as far as moving components, anti-aligning. It's basically a flip. If it's not mated the right way, you flip it with this anti-align tool. Insert component, that's how we put the parts in. Origins, we can see the origins on all the other parts. Concentric mates means they're surface to surface. Rotate components, place position component, coincident mate. So we'll go through and we'll use those tools. We'll start off by starting a new assembly drawing, and then what we'll do is we'll insert this component right here, the double link. So switching over to SolidWorks, this is the link. It's already been modeled. File new. And we'll say assembly. We'll say OK. Let's get rid of the fade. We'll say that we want, let's see which one this is. That's the one we want. We want this piece, and we're going to drop it on the origin. If you go to Tools, View, Display Origins, you can see the origin is right here. And when we bring that on, it's going to drop the origin and align them, and then this part is going to be what's called fixed, meaning it's not going to move. Alright, so let's look at the next component. So if we hold control, we can drag off a number of other copies, and so we'll drag off 4 more copies or create 4 copies by holding control, click and drag on this part. So we'll back up a little bit, control, click and drag. Control, click and drag. Changing colors, we can change the component colors by using the, it's basically, I call it the beach ball. I've already changed the color of this part from before, but if we wanted to, we could click on that part and select this edit appearance. And then what I'll do is, it would do just the face, and so if I wanted to make that face green, you could see all the faces are just green. If I red, I can undo that. Or when we go into these different colors, what we would do is be able to then say which part we wanted, and so we could say I want this part right here, and I want to change that to green. Okay, so I'm just going to leave them the color that they already are, but that's how you would be able to change colors. We can insert the other link, the other component, and so we'll bring that in, and we'll bring in and mate that part to those faces. And the mates that they're going to use are going to be with the holes. And so we're going to select, first we're going to select the circular geometry on each one, and then it will mate those concentrically. And then we'll go through and we'll do a with mate, which will then put it in between the width of these two flat surfaces. Insert component. Here's our other piece. And I'm not 100% sure which direction they're going with this. And so I'll figure this will be our fixed part. We'll go one out that way and then we'll go back the other way. Doesn't really make a big difference, I guess. Alright, and so when we mate this, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the paper clip. And then in this blue box, it looks for the geometry that we select. And so if we select round geometry and then other round geometry, Solidworks wants to make that concentric, or so that the circles are lined up. And so they are lined up. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a mate with. And so these are now like we have a rod, an invisible rod through them. To do a with mate, we would go to Advanced Mates, and we would select with. And then once we have the with mate started, what we do is we select one side on this and one side here, and then we do the same two sides on the piece that we're going to mate that to. And so I believe this is my first piece that's fixed. So here and here. And then green check mark. Fit. Spacebar. Isometric view. Okay, we're going to need some more of these other components here. Now you'll notice that once you mate them, they still move. Okay, and so basically as we're mating these parts, what we're doing is we're taking away some of their degrees of freedom and then tying them into these other parts. So if I hold Control, click and drag, I can drag off two more copies of it. And then we'll mate those the same way. So not sure why my computer's glitching here, but let me see if I can get one more. Okay. And so when we go to mate it, we'll select this round shape here and then this round shape here. We'll get a concentric mate, which will green check mark. And then we can move this a little bit to the side so we have enough room to work with. And then we go back to mates. And we're going to go to Advanced Mate. And we're going to go to With. And then we're going to go and we're going to select this side, and then this side. Whoops, not that one. If you do select the wrong one, you just go over here and clear that selection and put in the right one. There we go. And we can stay in this mating. Okay, we just green check mark it and then it clears. It allows us to keep adding more parts to it. And again, you can move these. And then we're going to go with a concentric mate, and so we'll go with this round. And then any of these round shapes will be fine. Seems to be glitching out. Let's try it again. There we go. So those are concentric. They're lined up, and then we'll do the width mate. And so our width mate's under advanced mates, width, left side, right side, left side, right side. Green check mark. Do it again. Can move this closer. Circular, circular. Doesn't seem to like that one. Let's clear it. Again, I'm not sure. Maybe it's because it's in this advanced mate. So I think I have to just clear completely out of that. And then it should be fine. Yep. And it looks like I need one more. Control, click and drag. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so what else do we have here? All right, so we'll go through and we'll mate all these pieces. And then we can take a look at those mates. They'll be in the table. If there's one that doesn't work, and oftentimes that's what happens, just like with relations, you sometimes have to delete these out or they start to oppose each other. So we'll insert the other components, these other two pins, and we'll put 5 of them on each side, and then we'll put those pins together, and then once we do that, it's basically the exercise. This anti-align option is just flipping it. It's either left or right. It's pretty straightforward stuff. All right. So to put the pins in, I'm going to hit the space bar, get an isometric view. I'm going to go to Insert Component, and then I'm going to go and grab one of the pins, Okay, so here's one, and then let's insert another one. And I'm not sure what this other one is. It doesn't seem to want to um, bring in the other part. So let me see what's going on with that piece. Here it is right here. And so I'm just going to save it as a different name, and then I'm going to bring it back in. Okay, let's try it again. It's just not, seems to be showing up here. I'm going to have to pause and come back to it. Okay, so I was able to insert this other pin here. I'm not sure what the problem was, but I just wound up redrawing it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then make copies of this by holding Control and then dragging that off. And the same for this one. And then it's the same process to mate these. So what we're going to do is we're going to say mate. We'll select the round cylinder portion here and then cylinder portion over here. It'll give us a concentric mate. We'll green check mark that. And then we can do that to this one as well. Might as well get them all. Okay, and then once we've got these mated there, gotta be a little careful because it kind of starts to go together a little bit. We can then mate these so that they are the flat side of the pin is on the flat side of the part. And that'll give us a coincident mate. And so we'll do that again. Green check mark, flat side here. Notice that it's a square, meaning it's taking the surface. And then here. And then we'll do the same thing for the other side where we will mount the pins in the holes. And again, we can pull these out and then we have to mate them from the bottom side to the flat here. Okay, I'm just going to make a few of these. I'm going to pause it. Okay, so we've added all these pins. We created all the mates. And now if we wanted to move the chain, you can see that we can manipulate that with the degrees of freedom um, that are still remaining within the assembly. If we take another look at the exercise, we've gone through and mated all the pins. As I said before, this anti-align, it's just a flip. Sometimes it'll put this face on here and it'll flip it the other way, and so you have to flip it back. Okay, so we'll save our work as links assembly, and that completes this exercise. So we'll come back to our assembly, file, save as, and we'll say my initials. Now this is just for the assembly, and so one of the things that you may want to do is to pack and go. I'm not sure why it's giving me a hard time with this. It's because some of these are used in other drawings. And so what you can do is use pack and go, and what that'll do is it'll save all the components into a zip drive. And so we can say save to zip file and hit save, and that'll keep all of those together, and then that would be what you would turn into the Dropbox. Okay, that completes this exercise.